SmackDown Live invaded Raw. How will Raw respond? Usually, these prediction articles come out on the heels of brand-specific pay-per-views. Therefore, in the aftermath of TLC, we put out 5 predictions that could happen in the Raw that followed TLC. Truth be told, after what happened on Raw only a few hours ago, we knew we had to put out yet another Crazy Twists feature for SmackDown Live, detailing the possibilities. We know that the two brands are at war, and therefore, a lot could transpire. Bear in mind that the events on Raw took us by surprise, and we can only guess what SmackDown Live has in store. Everything could change at a moment's notice, because WWE is not exactly known to be consistent. In any case, we present 5 crazy twists that could make SmackDown Live just as exciting as Raw was, on the road to Survivor Series next week, in Houston, Texas. Number 5. Finn Balor comes to SmackDown Live. The match between AJ Styles and Finn Balor at TLC was booked at the last minute, and much like we expected it to, it did deliver. The two men delivered a performance worthy of the title match of the year, at least on the main roster. WWE may want to capitalize on the momentum of the match by getting Finn Balor over to SmackDown Live. There's a great reason for this trade. After all, SmackDown Live superstar Kane is now a part of the Raw brand now. Shane McMahon has a valid reason for wanting Finn Balor on the Blue brand. Having a turncoat in their midst may just spice things up in the inter-brand wars. So far, Team SmackDown Live has had the upper hand in the brand wars. Can Raw even the odds, however? Number 4. The Raw invasion. In many ways, this is what we expect will transpire. Therefore, we're only calling it a twist because of how seldom WWE does the most logical thing and how cool the sheer visual appeal will be. In retaliation to the SmackDown Live locker room having invaded the Raw, the Red brand invades the upcoming SmackDown Live show. We only saw the SmackDown Live locker room take out the mid-carders. The Raw invasion should comprise of the top guys as well, just like AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura were a part of the SmackDown Live invasion. Only then will the visual appeal of seeing the two forces clash seem like a big deal. In our estimation, if the two forces do collide, then the Raw locker room should wipe out the entire SmackDown Live roster. This will create an air of unpredictability with regard to which way the big match at Survivor Series may eventually go. Heels and baby faces must settle their differences, like what happened on the SmackDown Live side. Number 3. Owens and Zayn help brand Raw. We know that the SmackDown Live roster wants to embarrass the Raw locker room and establish themselves as the dominant faction in WWE. However, bear in mind that two men who were not part of the SmackDown Live invasion were Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, for very obvious reasons. Neither man is really a fan of Shane McMahon. Owens has said in the past that he is a much bigger fan of Shane's sister, Stephanie McMahon. How cool would it be to see the two men align themselves with Team Raw for Survivor Series if the previous point, as it pertains to the Raw invasion, saw these two men fight alongside the men in the Red brand? It would be a very cool plot twist. It would have long-term implications over the storylines of the brand. Here is another crazy twist that we can imagine taking the world by surprise when it happens. Number 2. Face-off between the champions. This week on Raw, Paul Heyman expressed his thoughts on Jinder Mahal and the fact that he did not think Mahal was even in the same league as the notable champions in WWE history. We know that Lesnar does not show up on Raw very often, but could he show up on SmackDown Live at Kurt Angle's request? This is not unheard of, really. Lesnar had shown up on SmackDown Live once before when he was feuding with Randy Orton during the build to SummerSlam last year. From a kayfabe perspective, it makes perfect sense. Why wouldn't Angle want his champion to show up on SmackDown Live and take apart the WWE champion? Who knows, the crowd may lose their minds if it happens. Number 1. Charlotte Flair becomes the women's champion. Nobody's excited about the match between Alexa Bliss and Natalya, considering the lack of heat for the said contest. This is a non-title affair, and both women are heels. However, Charlotte Flair vs Alexa Bliss is a more interesting contest. The possibility of a match between the two women was brought up on Raw Talk following TLC when Bliss was a special guest. That makes us wonder if a title change is due on SmackDown Live in a few hours. Worry not, we will be there, bringing you all the action as it happens on the Blue brand. Invasions or title changes, we have you covered, dear reader. Let us know in the comments below if you believe that any of these twists could take place.